She's the face of blockbuster dramas, an actress who grew up before a nation's eyes. But behind Yang Zi's radiant smile is a story of incredible struggle and resilience. From being told she wasn't pretty enough to continue acting after her child star fame, to navigating false advertising scandals and fighting legal battles against defamation, her path has been anything but easy. This is the complete story of her journey through the highs and lows of superstardom. To see how she overcame it all, keep watching and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite stars. In the bustling metropolis of Beijing on a crisp autumn day in 1992, Yang Zi was born into a world she would one day captivate. From a very young age, there was a spark in her, a natural inclination towards performance that her parents noticed and nurtured. While other children were content with simple games, Yang Zi was drawn to the world of storytelling, mimicking characters she saw on television and creating her own small dramas in the family living room. This wasn't just a fleeting childhood phase. It was the first sign of a deep-seated passion that would define her life's trajectory. Her entry into the entertainment industry was not a sudden, explosive event, but a gradual process. She took on small roles here and there, learning the rhythm of a film set and the discipline required to be an actor. These early experiences were her first classroom, teaching her more than any textbook could about the craft she was beginning to love. Then came the role that would change everything. In 2005, a new family sitcom called Home with Kids was being cast, and it was destined to become a cultural phenomenon. Yang Zi auditioned for and won the part of Xia Shui, the smart, sometimes sassy, and highly relatable older sister in a newly blended family. The moment the show premiered, it was clear that it was something special. It captured the hearts of millions across China, becoming appointment television for families everywhere. Yang Zi, as Xia Shui, was at the center of this whirlwind. She was no longer just a young actress, she was a household name. Audiences saw their own daughters, sisters, and friends in her portrayal of a modern teenage girl navigating the complexities of school, family, and growing up. Her sharp wit and moments of vulnerability made the character feel incredibly real, and her face became one of the most recognizable in the country. She had achieved a level of fame that most actors only dream of, all before she was even old enough to drive. But the bright spotlight of child stardom cast a long and often difficult shadow. As Home with Kids wrapped and the applause began to fade, Yang Zi found herself at a crossroads. The very image that had made her famous, that of the clever and cute Xia Shui, now threatened to trap her. She was entering her teenage years, a period of awkward growth and change for anyone. But for a public figure, it was a transformation broadcast for all to see. The industry that had so eagerly embraced her as a child star now seemed uncertain of what to do with her. The cute factor was fading, and she was no longer the little girl everyone remembered. This period was marked by a profound and painful struggle. The most cutting difficulty came not from the public, but from within the industry itself. During auditions, she faced harsh critiques and outright rejection. She has spoken openly about one particular moment that deeply affected her. When a respected industry figure told her frankly that her looks were not suitable for a leading actress. The implication was clear: she wasn't pretty enough to continue her career. For any young person, such words would be crushing. But for an actress whose identity was so intertwined with her public image, it was a devastating blow. It planted seeds of doubt and insecurity, making her question her talent and her place in the entertainment world. The path forward, once so clear and bright, was now shrouded in uncertainty. Doors that had once been wide open were now closing, and the phone stopped ringing as often. Faced with this immense pressure and the looming possibility that her career might be over before it truly began, Yang Zi made a pivotal decision. She refused to let others define her future. Instead of fading away, she chose to invest in herself and her craft. In 2010, she was accepted into the prestigious Beijing Film Academy, the top institution of its kind in China. This was a deliberate and strategic move. It was a statement that she was more than just a former child star. She was a serious artist committed to honing her skills. College became her sanctuary and her training ground. It allowed her to step away from the direct glare of the spotlight and immerse herself in the theory and practice of acting. She studied alongside other aspiring actors, learning the fundamentals, experimenting with different techniques, and rediscovering her passion away from the pressures of commercial success. During and after her time at the Academy, she adopted a new strategy for her career. She began to actively seek out a wide variety of roles, many of them smaller supporting parts in television dramas and films. She played characters that were a world away from the bubbly sitcom persona of Xia Sue. She took on roles in historical dramas, modern romances, and serious character studies. Each role was a deliberate step in a new direction, a piece of a larger puzzle she was assembling to prove her versatility. It was a period of patient, methodical work. She was rebuilding her career from the ground up, not with a single blockbuster hit, but through a consistent demonstration of her range and dedication. This was her answer to the critics and the doubters. Through sheer hard work and a refusal to be typecast, she began to slowly change the industry's perception of her, laying a new foundation for the incredible success that was to come. The years of patient work and quiet dedication were about to pay off in a way that would reshape her career entirely. In 2016, Yang Zi took on a role in a new ensemble drama called Ode to Joy. The show followed the lives of 5 different women living in the same apartment complex in Shanghai, each navigating their own personal and professional struggles. Yang Zi was cast not as the glamorous lead, but as Chu Yingying, a naive and sometimes impulsive young woman from a small town trying to make it in the big city. The character was flawed, often making foolish mistakes and annoying her friends, but she was also earnest, kind-hearted, and deeply human. It was a risky role. Chu Yingying was not always likable, but it was precisely this complexity that allowed Yang Zi to finally break free from the shadow of her past. She played the part with such conviction that audiences were captivated. They saw her not as the perfect child star they once knew, but as a talented actress capable of portraying real, messy, and relatable human emotion. The show was a massive critical and commercial success, and it officially marked the end of her transition period. Yang Zi had successfully reinvented herself. Having proven her dramatic chops, she then took a leap into a completely different genre that would launch her into the stratosphere of superstardom. In 2018, she starred in the epic fantasy romance, Ashes of Love. She played Jinmi, a grape spirit whose ability to feel romantic love has been magically sealed away. The role demanded incredible range, requiring her to portray a journey from pure, childlike innocence to the depths of agonizing heartbreak and back again. The series became a sensation, not just in China, but across Asia and beyond. Viewers were enthralled by the sweeping story, and most of all, by her powerful performance. Her ability to convey profound sorrow through her eyes alone became a talking point among fans and critics. One particularly gut-wrenching scene, where her character finally understands the pain of love, was so masterfully acted that it cemented her reputation as one of the finest actresses of her generation. Ashes of Love wasn't just a hit show. It was a cultural event that transformed Yang Zi from a well-respected actress into an undisputed leading lady with immense star power. The momentum was unstoppable. The following year, in the summer of 2019, she starred in Go Go Squid, a modern romantic comedy that would become the feel-good hit of the year. She played Tong Nian, a brilliant and sweet online singer who falls for a stoic, older professional gamer. The show was light, charming, and incredibly addictive, thanks in large part to the palpable chemistry between Yang Zi and her co-star, Li Xian. She brought a warmth and brightness to the role that was infectious, and the series dominated television ratings and online discussions for weeks. It seemed everything she touched turned to gold. She had become a guarantee of success, a ratings powerhouse whose name alone could draw millions of viewers. She was at the absolute peak of her popularity, a beloved star who had successfully navigated the treacherous journey from child celebrity to adult superstar. However, this new level of fame came at a steep price. With every new success, the spotlight on her grew brighter and more unforgiving. The whispers that had followed her for years grew into a roar of constant online scrutiny. The most persistent and invasive of these were the endless debates about her appearance. The internet became flooded with side-by-side comparison photos, with netizens meticulously analyzing her facial features from her home with kids days and comparing them to her current look. Accusations of plastic surgery became a constant companion to her name. Every red carpet appearance, every new promotional still, was an invitation for a fresh round of speculation. It was a relentless form of public examination that reduced her talent and hard work to a debate about her jawline or the shape of her nose. This intense focus on her physical appearance was a difficult and often cruel burden to bear. This scrutiny soon expanded beyond her looks to encompass every facet of her life. The immense pressure of being a top-tier celebrity in the digital age meant that her private life was no longer her own. Her on-set interactions with co-stars were analyzed for any hint of a real-life romance. Her fashion choices were dissected by bloggers and critics. Her posts on social media were mined for hidden meanings. The line between Yang Zi the person and Yang Zi the celebrity had effectively been erased. She was living in a glass house where every move was watched, documented, and judged by millions of people she would never meet. This was the new reality of her success, a world of incredible professional triumph paired with an almost complete loss of personal privacy, a constant storm of public opinion from which there was no escape. Even as the storm of public scrutiny raged around her, Yang Zi demonstrated a remarkable ability to channel the intense pressure back into her work, emerging with performances that were more nuanced and powerful than ever. In 2023, she took on the lead role in the highly anticipated historical fantasy drama, Lost You Forever. The project was ambitious, based on a beloved novel with a sprawling narrative and a deeply complex protagonist. The role was perhaps the most challenging of her career, requiring her to portray a single character who lives under multiple identities, including a significant period disguised as a man. She was not just playing a woman in men's clothing. She had to embody a different persona entirely, a street-smart, world-weary doctor with a guarded heart. The performance was a tour de force. Yang Zi disappeared into the character, capturing the subtle shifts in posture, voice, and demeanor with breathtaking precision. When the drama aired, it was met with overwhelming praise. Critics lauded her layered and emotionally resonant portrayal, and audiences were once again reminded of the profound depth of her talent. The show dominated viewership charts and became another blockbuster hit on her resume, solidifying her reputation not just as a ratings draw, but as a formidable dramatic actress capable of carrying a complex, epic story on her shoulders. It was a powerful statement that her success was built on a foundation of genuine skill, a fact that even her harshest critics could not easily dismiss. Yet, the landscape of modern celebrity is such that professional triumphs often exist side by side with public relations challenges. Later that year, in November 2023, Yang Zi found herself at the center of a controversy that had nothing to do with her acting. She had become the face of a popular shampoo brand, and a new commercial began airing across the country. In the advertisement, she was depicted with a stunningly thick and long mane of dark hair, swishing it around as she promoted the product's benefits. However, eagle-eyed netizens soon pointed out that the hair featured so prominently in the ad was not her own, but a wig. What might have been a minor detail escalated quickly into a public debate about false advertising. Cries of misleading echoed across social media platforms. Some consumers felt deceived, arguing that using a hairpiece to sell a shampoo was fundamentally dishonest. While the use of extensions and wigs is common practice in advertising, the controversy stuck to her. It was a stark lesson in the realities of her fame. As a top-tier star and brand ambassador, she was held to an exceptionally high standard of perceived authenticity, and any deviation could result in a swift and widespread backlash. It demonstrated how every professional decision, no matter how seemingly small, was subject to intense public examination. As the years progressed, the nature of the attacks against her became more personal and malicious, prompting a significant shift in how she and her team responded to public slander. For a long time, she had weathered the storm of rumors with a degree of public silence, but by late 2024, a line had been crossed. A particular social media user had launched a relentless and targeted campaign of defamation against her, repeatedly posting baseless accusations that she had used romantic relationships with influential figures to advance her career. These were not mere criticisms or gossip. They were damaging allegations presented as fact, designed to undermine her professional integrity and hard-earned success. Recognizing the serious threat to her reputation, her studio decided to take a firm and public stand. They pursued legal action against the individual, winning a court judgment that found the user guilty of defamation. However, the harassment did not stop. The user continued to spread the same false narratives, prompting Yang Zi's team to initiate further legal proceedings. This move was a significant turning point. It signaled an end to passive tolerance and the beginning of an active fight to protect her name. It was a declaration that she would no longer quietly absorb such vicious attacks, but would use the legal system to hold people accountable for their words. It showed a new level of resolve from a star who had been in the public eye her entire life and was now drawing a clear boundary in the sand. The challenges she faced were not always direct attacks on her character. Sometimes they stemmed from the complexities of large-scale productions. In early 2025, as anticipation was building for her next major costume drama, Flourished Peony, the production itself became mired in controversy. An author who had published a book on the intricate aesthetics of the Tang dynasty publicly accused the show's production team of copyright infringement. The author claimed that the makeup and styling concepts for Yang Zi's character were lifted directly from her research and diagrams without permission or credit. The accusation quickly gained traction online, casting a shadow over the drama before it even aired. The production team eventually issued a public apology, explaining that their styling department had mistakenly used the author's detailed diagrams as historical reference materials, without realizing their copyrighted nature. While Yang Zi was not personally responsible for the mistake, as the lead actress and the face of the series, she was inevitably caught in the fallout. The incident highlighted another difficult reality for a top star. Her public image was inextricably linked to the actions of the hundreds of people involved in her projects. It was a reminder that even with her own conduct being impeccable, she could still be impacted by controversies outside of her direct control. Through all these trials, from advertising missteps to legal battles and production issues, she has continued to work, demonstrating a resilience forged over a lifetime spent in the demanding world of entertainment. She remains one of the most sought-after and successful actresses of her generation, a testament not only to her immense talent, but to her remarkable strength in navigating the turbulent waters of modern fame. Yang Zi's career is a masterclass in perseverance. She transformed from a beloved child icon into a powerhouse actress who commands the screen, all while enduring relentless public scrutiny and navigating industry controversies. Her story is not just one of talent, but of the immense strength required to not only survive in the spotlight, but to thrive within it, actively defending her reputation against the odds. Her journey continues to unfold, proving she is a true survivor. What part of her story impressed you most? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more incredible stories like this.